I am Jayachandran Palazhi, choreographer and artistic director at Attakkalari Center for Movement Arts, Bangalore. Attakkalari's motto is traditional physical wisdom, innovation and technology. It is a long process. My belief is any of these forms were born in a particular place at a particular time because of certain set of ideas of body, concepts of body and principles of movement. When they materialize to tell a story, either a formalistic story or a narrative content, then you have a movement language or a narrative theatrical language. And then in the case of classical forms, it has been kind of distilled over many centuries, and then they were codified. So, my effort was, during the colonial times, many of our forms were banned. Bharatanatyam was banned, Kalaripayattu martial art was banned. So, many of these forms were banned. So, its natural progression was kind of stopped and got stagnated. Some had to go even underground. So, when after the independence, what happened was the country started to value its tradition and want to set up centers of learning for these traditions like Kalakshetra, Kalamandalam, Kathak Kendra, many centers like that. But what happened in those institutions was a great thing, that they managed to gather all the different modes of such expression, but they kind of obliterated different strands and standardized them. So, in some cases even taken out the sensuality from that. So, my effort is to understand these concepts and principles governing these forms and deconstruct, dissect these forms and understand these concepts and principles, so that I can extrapolate into a contemporary situation like day-to-day life. You can actually take motives or inspiration from day-to-day life. Then if you develop an improvisation or a kind of movement language, then you can process with these concepts of tradition and the principles of movement in the traditional form. So, then you get a new language which gravitates towards an evolving Indian identity. In a way, tradition become a strong point, something which we can draw inspiration from, which can be informing our work, but not limiting us. The idea of spirituality and its connection to dance and is a very interesting one. See, I believe not necessarily in terms of iconography of the particular god or personification of a particular god. Actually, Hinduism in the path, when you look at the Vedanta period and the Veda period and all, no, there is a much more idea of relating to the universe, and that spirituality I kind of subscribe to, because for me dance is or our body inhabit in spaces beyond our physical contours. And in Indian idea, the idea of breath or prana is the essence of everything in life, whether it is sound or movement. So, that way my spirituality is, for example, how my body connect to the universe. Every molecules, every atom in the body is connected to the space. So, when you are dancing, you are actually connecting to these spaces. For contemporary Indian artists, we have to occupy a space, a suspended space. On one time, we have to oscillate to the tradition. On the other time, we have to oscillate to the future. We define as an online interactive archive on Indian somatic expressions, both traditional ones as well as contemporary. I really like that kind of visual language, and for a choreographer, it is not only dance, visual art or theatre, but also music, also literature, philosophy. I think one has to have a an idea of many of these things, so that your palette is much broader and you can choose from if you were to approach a work of art. So I was blessed because many of our friends are dealing with philosophy, or some of them are visual artists, some of them are literature people, or musicians, or filmmakers. So I had the good fortune to talk to them, learn from them, or see works of art, whether it's theater, dance, or film, or whatever. So that was my education, and I think in Attakkalari, that is what we are trying to provide for the coming generation as well.